And without any further ado, I would like to bring up Kayla Brown.
I'm short. The long-running joke. Good evening. You guys are very lively. Usually they have me come up to spice up the crowd, but they don't need any spicing, Uncle Terry. Am I done? No. All right. You're going to hear a lot of things tonight. You're going to hear a lot of things about water and timber and mining. You're going to hear about Supreme Court cases, and you're going to hear a lot about finances and money, and really it gets very tedious. So I would like to talk to you more about something that we can all much more easily relate to, and that's history. That's family. That's everything that we go home to every single day, okay? So we're going to talk a little about California real quick. Before California became a state, before it was part of the United States, California was part of the Spanish Empire. It was owned by the Spaniards, right? Okay? So what happened in 1848 is the United States was at war with Mexico, and after we essentially beat Mexico, we got California and several other territories to become part of the United States. And in 1848, the president who was the president of the United States of America at that time was my great-great-great-great-great-grand-uncle, James Knox Polk. Okay? Pretty cool, huh? I love genealogies. It's just kind of cool. So California then becomes part of the United States, but it's a territory, so California has a problem. Nobody wants to stay a territory. You want to be a state, because statehood means that your people have the right to do what they want to do within that specific area. So in 1849, California goes, okay, well, we want to be a state. And all of Northern California went, yes, we want to be a state. And Southern California goes, oh, no. We don't want to be a state. And they didn't want to be a state because there were a bunch of rural farmers down there at the time. They didn't have Los Angeles at the tune that it is today. They were the rural folk, and Northern California, because of the mines, were the city folk back then. So Southern California goes, oh, no, we don't want this. You're going to tax us out of existence. All right? So they petition Congress, and they say, please, we'll be the territory of Colorado. Don't make us part of a state with those crazy Northern Californians. And Congress goes, no, you're going to be one state. So in 1850, California is admitted to the Union as a single state. Okay? Didn't take too long before California realized it's a little big. It's just, it's about the size of, 11 East Coast states, so it's a little big. And so the Californians in the Assembly in 1852, 2 years after statehood, they go, maybe we should, cut this up a little bit. It's kind of big. Did you know that? It's big. And they do that for about 2 years, and they propose 3 states. The northernmost state was called the State of Shasta, which today we propose as the State of Jefferson. And that was in 1852 to 1854. Passes the Assembly, Senate doesn't take it up, so it's dead in the water. By 1859, Southern California goes, you guys are taxing us to death. You're taxing us to death. This is ridiculous. We're out. And you know what? The PICO Act passed the Assembly, it passed the Senate, and it went to Congress back in D.C. Southern California was almost its own state, but there was a war going on back east. Okay, they had the Civil War, so Congress didn't even take it up. So California stayed as one state. It came back again in the 1880s. It came back in the early 1900s, the 1920s. You see in the pattern here? Every single generation has realized there's something wrong with California. In 1941, we have the State of Jefferson movement, where we get the moniker State of Jefferson. And in 1941, Northern California and Southern Oregon worked together to almost become the 51st state. Actually, it would have been like the actual 49th state at the time, but that's semantics. But what happened? World War II. The people of Northern California put on hold their wants and their wishes for the betterment of America to go fight a war together with the rest of California. In the 1960s, State of Jefferson came back up. In 1992, State of Jefferson came back up with Stan Statham's multi-state deal. Here in Tehama County, you guys voted overwhelmingly in support of separating, of creating multiple states. But we won that, and then we went home. Why did we go home? We could have had multiple states in 1992, but here we are again today, another generation saying California is ungovernable. But today, it's the rural folks of Northern California looking at Southern California citizens and going, "You're taxing us to death." You see the cycle here. And the reason why this is most important is, raise your hand if you were born and raised here in the North State. That's quite a few hands. How many of you had children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren here in the North State? How many of them are still here? Quite a few. That's excellent. Most of the time, you get a lot of hands and a lot of people saying, my children, my grandchildren, and my grandchildren, they are not here. And they're not here because there aren't jobs. There's not an economy here. You can't support young people here. And the reason why this really hits home with somebody like me is because I'm 24 years old. I'm currently in a master's program. When I graduated from Chico State, I had a 3.5 GPA, couldn't get a job in Northern California, couldn't get a job in California, couldn't get a job in the United States of America, so I went to Russia. I got a job in Russia. I got to use my Russian language skills, but I wanted to work in the United States. And that's the crux of the issue, is when we grow up, we're always told that if you go and get a good education, you'll get a good job, and you can actually survive. Do you believe that in Northern California? Do you think it's going to get better under the state of California? I don't think so either. Do you think it'll be better if we create a state of Jefferson so our young people can survive? There you go.